1-2. Drive left field. Pierre racing back near the wall. It is gone. Wow. It just got over the wall, and the A's take the lead.
That ball hit deep, way back. He looks up. You can't put it on the board. Yes, a long home run by the Cuban Missile, Alexa Ramirez, and the Sox winning 6-5. Mercy.
There was plenty of drama in games 1 and 2 of this series. What's in store for today's matinee finale? Find out next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. From the beautiful city, Chicago, Illinois, Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox Baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, Carlos Quentin and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Hideki Matsui and the Oakland Athletics. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. In the opener, Sox lost that ball game 2-1 in 10 innings. Mark Burley was just awesome. Then yesterday, Sox, with 2 home runs by Alexei Ramirez, a Cuban Missile, they won it 6-5 in 10 innings. So the Sox now come in at 7-4, and this afternoon a couple of good left-handers out on that bump.
Johnny Danks going to the mound for the Sox, and John is 4-1 lifetime against this Oakland team. Now, he's not throwing the ball as well as he would like. His ERA at 4.5. He's 0-1 this year, looking for his first win. And hopefully today, on a very lively day at the ballpark, the offense can come to play, get him a little support, and we can take 2 of 3 from a tough Oakland team because of their pitching staff and because of their defense. Anderson goes to the mound, the big left-hander for this Oakland team, and he's the first guy they tied up long-term. Brett Anderson also 0-1, but his ERA is below 2. This guy's pretty tough, and now he's added a curveball. However, his velocity is down from last year. So today, with a well-played game, we can take the off day tomorrow and then wait for the Angels to come in.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
replays on Xfinity On Demand, only from Comcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. Let's take a look at how Bob Guerin is going to line them up today. David DeJesus is going to lead it off and play his third position of the series. He's going to be in center field. Then it's Ellis, Jackson, Willingham back in the lineup with Matsui, Kuzmanov, Suzuki, LaRoche, and Pennington also back in the lineup at shortstop and hitting 9. The defense and how they'll line up behind Johnny Danks, left to right, Pierre Rios and Quentin. In the infield, Morel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. Ramon Castro gets a nod behind the plate today. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Danks, looking for win number 1. As you can see, left-handers have had a problem with it. That's most unusual for him. Right-handers hitting .333 is something that he'll get down. And so we are ready for baseball as John Danks takes his final preparation. They've thrown the ball around the infield, and I'll turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of this 3-game set, and it will be the rubber match. First pitch to David DeJesus is taken for a strike, says Dan Iasonia. DeJesus, 0 for 5 in the series, comes in hitting at .216. No homers, he's driven in 3. That's out of play and very quickly. The count 0-2. A's come in at 5-6 on the season, hitting at .230 as a team. But they have a very fine 3.01 team ERA. What a beautiful day here in the beautiful city. Mercy. Fouls that one back, and here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. He gone.
One down and a cutter up. Probably not the location John wanted it in, but it certainly was effective to Jesus, who has started to use an uppercut swing, and you're not going to catch up to the ball up there.
Here's the veteran infielder Mark Ellis. Takes first pitch strike. Ellis 2 for 9 in the series, comes in hitting at .211 with no homers and 5 RBIs.
Take a look at the umpires today. We Dan Iasonia behind the plate. Dale Scott, the crew chief, is at first. Jerry Meals at second. C.B. Buckner at third.
And there's a little base hit flipped out there in the center field. So the 1-out single. And that'll bring up Connor Jackson. Bottom of the 4th inning in Minneapolis. Kansas City leading Twins 6-1.
Minnesota early in that game was hitting the baseball all over, was held to just the 1 run, but Kansas City came roaring back.
And that's flipped out into center field, and that's going to be a base hit. So 2 soft singles here off Danks.
Looked like at first Alex thought he could have a shot at this one. It's a cutter. You see Jackson pull his hands in. Doesn't get a whole lot of it, but it's a nice power to the bat on it. At the last instant, Alex decides to pull up, not wanting to let that ball get by him. Catches it bare hand. Now you got to deal with Willingham, who is an inviting double play target if you can get him to hit the ball on the ground.
He is 1 for 5 in the series. Starts him off with a changeup. Willingham last year for Washington hit .268, 16 homers, and drove in 56. One and one to count.
Bob Guerin told me that the key for Oakland this year was to try to improve the offense, which they realized was down a bit. without hurting the defense, because with their young pitchers, they knew that defensively they would have to be at the top of their game. And there's a look at Bob.
Nice pick by Castro. Well, the best thing you can do for your pitchers is catch the baseball.
Something that we're going to have to improve upon, or it's going to be very difficult.
This is a good defensive ball club. This just played bad through the first part of the schedule. And now the count 3-1.
Heki Matsui in the on-deck circle, one of their best clutch hitters. So you'd like to see an off-speed pitch and a ground ball off the bat of Willingham.
Got the fastball, fouls it back, and a full count. Oakland took the opener 2-1 in 10 innings. Burley was just awesome, going 8 innings, giving up no runs on 2 hits. And last night, 6-5 Sox in 10 innings. Alexei with 2 home runs. Two on, 1 out here in the top of the first if you're just joining us. Here go the runners. And it's academic, so that'll load them up.
Kind of unusual that Brent Morrell did not go to the bag. As Ramon came up, wanted to throw to third base on a called third. Sonia called him out. Ramon came up starting to throw, but C.B. Buckner was the closest, and he's the umpire.
So 2 down. Well, he wasn't going to get him at third. Jackson got a late, real late break from first on that.
Usually when you have a speed guy, especially when you're allowing him to get as much of a lead at second, it's really nice to go after the trailer. Because more times than not, he's not running quite as hard as that lead runner.
You got to make sure that man, there's a little chopper. Got to make sure that man in front of you is moving, and that'll do it. Nothing across after half an inning play. It's A's nothing, and our Sox coming to bat.
Okay. It's going to be Pierre, Beckham, and Dunn, followed by Pollock, Quentin, and Rios, with Ramirez, the hero of last night, Castro, and Morrell. Brett Anderson also 0-1 this year, despite the fact that he's thrown the ball very well. You take a look at the defense and how they're going to line up behind him.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as first pitch misses to Juan Pierre. Juan 2 for 8 in the series with an RBI. Comes in hitting at 265. Corners in close. And there's a bunt. Anderson's got to hurry. No chance.
The reason why Juan was bunting was because it is well known over the league that Anderson is not a good fielder. Not the most coordinated guy that you'll see, and not likely to win a Gold Glove. So it's a perfect bunt and a base hit. A nice job of backing up by Ellis. Otherwise, this ball is into right field.
Well, Ellis plays behind him every game he goes out there, so he knows exactly what the story is, and he will be backing up on that play. As here's Beckham, hitting at 295, couple homers, he's driven in 6. Gordon 0 for 5 in the series. Juan has 4 stolen bases in 6 attempts this year. Of course, last year he stole 68 to lead the major leagues. And there's a souvenir right side.
Here's our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher, and it is Brett Anderson. There you look at the numbers so far. The ERA spectacular. He lost a game where he gave up 2 runs to Minnesota.
They got him picked off. Good job by Andy LaRoche right there, getting the angle and making a strong throw. So 1 out.
LaRoche is a third baseman by trade. And Juan is off to the races going on first move. And Anderson, who doesn't have a great move, just completely fooled him. Once you're hung out to dry, might as well try to outrun the ball.
Nice play by Kuzmanov. Two out. And that'll bring up Adam Dunn. Dunn 1 for 4 in the series. Comes in at 278, a homer. He's driven in 5.
Anderson added a curveball to his repertoire. He used to be fastball, hard slider, and he used to throw in the mid-90s. Not so much anymore.
1-1 to count to the big man. And the count 3-1 with KONERKO on deck. Breaking ball and it's full. And that's ball 4. So with 1 on 2 out, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Jim Angio, our director of the crew, going with Juan Pierre. So opponent's going to go with Ramon Castro, and John and Sally Draper and I, we're going to go with Gordon Beckham. So here's Paulie, hitting at 381, 3 homers. He's driven in 12.
David DeJesus is playing awfully deep center field.
Anderson, just 23 years old, 6'4", 233 pounds, out of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Last year he spent 2 stints on the disabled list with elbow problems and then forearm problems, and it took away some of that velocity.
Made a mistake with the changeup right there and got away with it. And there's the strike. And Pauly lights it off. Stays alive at 1-2. Sox will conclude this game, this series. Have an off day tomorrow, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it'll be the Halos coming into town.
They're getting some great pitching from both Jared Weaver and Dan Herron.
That's into left field for a base hit. Just muscles that one out there. So 2 on, 2 out, and that'll bring up Quentin.
Anderson tries to throw a fastball in the inner portion of the plate. That ball is actually in off the plate. And Paul doesn't get a whole lot of it, but because his outfield plays abnormally deep all the way around for just about everybody, and falls in front of him.
Here's Carlos hitting at .310, a couple of homers. He's driven in 10. Takes a breaking ball strike. Checks it up. And that evens the count at 1. Broken bat. Off the glove. So now Dunn is going to be held at third, and that'll load him up. Looks like it's going to be an easy play for the shortstop.
But Kuzmanov comes across, thinks he can make the play, and winds up deflecting it. Ball stays in the infield. So to this point, he's given up 3 hits and a walk. Still a goose egg up on the board.
And here's Alex. So they're going to give Kuzmanov an arrow. That breaking ball high. And another one for a strike. Sacks packed with Sox. 2 out here in the bottom of the first if you're just tuning in. Hammered. Meanwhile, just a hard strike. Now he's got to cinch it up and hunker down. Now they change it back to a base hit.
Which I had written down in the first place.
Me too. I wasn't changing it either. Another breaking ball.
That used to be Anderson's game. Would be back foot breaking ball, which was a hard slider low and into the right-handers, as well as an overpowering fastball. But he's changed things up just a touch.
Slowly hit down to Kuzmanov, up with it. Over to LaRoche, and that'll retire the side. We have a threat, can't score. After 1, goose eggs. game of an epic Bulls regular season. So don't miss Bulls Nets tonight at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, fans' best friend. Kuzminov, Suzuki, LaRoche here in the top of the second. Just ate him up. Check those thumbnails.
That's what you'd like to see. You'd like to see John Danks get out of this second with a minimum of pitches. Both pitchers had their struggles in the first, yet both teams were turned away.
Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, 2 for 9 in the series with a homer. That homer won game 1, 2-1 in 10 innings. The 0-2 pitch. Morel. A beauty. 2 down.
Well, between Mark Burley and John Danks, the fact that they cut that fastball so often inside to the right-handers, the left side of the infield is pretty busy. And this is a fine play by Brent as he goes over toward the line. Takes a double away from Suzuki and quickly 2 up and 2 down here in the second.
Bottom of the 5th in Minnesota is now Kansas City 6, Minnesota 5.
It's a barn burner.
LaRoche can't get that one, and the count 1-2.
Roche came up to the major leagues as a third baseman. Oakland has chosen to move him all around out of necessity. Barton getting the day off today.
Morel backhand right over the top. Gun. Grabs some bench. 1-2-3 inning after an inning and a half. No score.
Real time with White Sox in-game live only on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape.
Nice round of applause for Alexei. 2 for 8 in the series, both of them home runs, a 3-run shot, and then that solo blast in the bottom of the 10th last night to win it 6-5. There's a bullet down to Kuzminov. Hang Wolfham. And here comes Castro. Ramon 2 for 9 on the season with a homer. Checks it up and takes first pitch strike. That's outside.
Really personal preference for the pitcher, but Anderson has decided he wants to stand on the extreme third base side of the pitcher's rubber, probably to get a better angle on that cutter down and in to the right-handers.
1-2 the count with Brent Morel on deck.
He's about as far over as you can get. A man that made 2 very good defensive plays last inning.
Backhanded, Pennington. Nice pick by LaRoche. Look at Wilson.
Here's a look at Brent Morel. And he's our Home Depot doing more on defense. Made a couple of dandies to help out John Danks get out of that second inning.
And there's the throw again, so that didn't take long. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the third. Nada. At U.S. Cellular Field are on sale right now. Tickets start at just $12 per seat. So purchase your tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Shortstop Cliff Pennington.
He's back in the lineup. He was out for a couple of days with an infected sweat gland. I've eliminated that by never sweating.
Laces that one into left field, bobbles. So he'll move on to second base on the error by Pierre.
Single E7 as Pennington celebrates his return to the lineup with a base hit. That one took the bad hop. And now it's up to John Danks to pitch over the mistake.
David DeJesus struck out, leading off the ball game. Not a good effort at all by DeJesus right there, and the count 0-1.
DeJesus is not normally a pull hitter, but that's his job right here. He's going to have to try to get something or go out and hook something and hit it to the right side.
Or bunt something. And they'll get the job done, so the sacrifice 1-3.
Good play by Danks as he barehanded the ball. DeJesus got the job done.
That'll bring up the second baseman, Mark Ellis. Got a little duck snort single in the center field. As he brings the infield in. And Ellis takes ball 1.
First time up, John wanted to pitch everything inside to him.
That's up and away. Can't get it. 0-3-0 for their guys, 0-3-1 for our guys. And that's going to be foul and unplayable for Danks. Good position right now for the punch out. 1-2 the count. Cutter down and in, and then a fastball up and away, and grab some bench.
Gallego talking it over with Pennington.
Or vice versa. He gone.
Went back to his comfort zone with Ellis, and that was keeping the ball inside. Big strikeout for Johnny Danks. Cuts that ball low and in.
So here's Jackson. He had a little soft single. As he takes low. One and 1 to count for the 28-year-old. Number 28. High and wide. And the count 3-1 with Willingham on deck. Morel right over the top. Nice peg. He's got a gun. And he pitches out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. The third inning. They see 6'4", 233 pounds southpaw Brett Anderson. One had a bunt single. Takes the bunt right there as both corners in on the grass.
And before this at bat, Anderson looked over at both Kuzminoff and LaRoche and gave him the bunt sign as if to play him close enough so I don't have to worry about it.
That's inside. And the count 1-1. Another breaking ball. 2-1. One now, 3 for 6 lifetime off Anderson. Little high, says Iasonia. 3 balls and a strike.
Ramon's going to get a fastball here.
And a full count. Ball hit back through the middle into center field.
That's what Pierre did in the 6th inning of last night's game when he tied up the ball game. Took it right back through the middle in a promising way to start the 3rd inning. After falling behind 3-1, he went 2 fastballs in a row. This is not going to help himself much on anything back through the middle.
Beckham grounded out to Kuzminoff his first trip. Takes first pitch strike. Good lead. And count 0-2. So 1 out.
Through that good breaking ball. That one probably more like a curveball than a slider. But he threw it down and in. And Gordon swung over the top of it.
Here's Adam Dunn. He walked back in the first. Big Hack, no contact. And you can join the new White Sox mobile group and win autographed memorabilia from your favorite players, receive special offers and updates, exclusive deals, contest info, and great prizes. Message and data rates may apply. Text SOX to Shy Sox 244-769 to enter. The ball is striking out here in the bottom of the 3rd. And that's low. Got him picked off again.
Ron's not having the best of days. On twice with base hits. Picked off twice. And he was going on first move again. Good solid throw by LaRoche. And they got him once again by plenty.
Two and two. There's that breaking ball. A couple of strikeouts. We're into the fourth. Still scoreless.
This fourth inning is brought to you by the fourth meal from Taco Bell. Open 1 a.m. or later.
Josh Willingham will lead it off here in the top of the fourth inning. He'll be followed by Hideki Matsui and Kevin Kuzminoff. First pitch strike.
Looks like Dan Iassogna is going to give John Danks maybe an inch or so off the outside corner.
Nothing on the inside at all, which is the way about 85 to 90% of the umpires are.
I mean, they're setting up in the slot. They're looking at that inside pitch head on. They're looking kind of over the top of the catcher for the outside pitch. You can understand it.
He gone.
And a good changeup, probably the best that John has thrown today. Willingham's been up twice. Twice he's fanned. First time looking that time. Just a dandy of a changeup.
Here's Matsui. A little slow roller to Beckham.
Helped John get out of that first inning with a couple men on. Struck out Willingham, got the ground ball to Matsui. A good piece of pitching by Danks. Had a very economical second inning.
That's high and deep into right center field and out of here. So Matsui cranks out his second homer of the season. And it is 1-0 Oakland.
The Oakland team added Willingham and Matsui to give them some power. And they've combined for 5 home runs. So our forward home run replay. This ball right down the middle. And Matsui does what he did for the Yankees a whole lot. Hits it out.
So the A's draw first blood here in the top of the fourth. 1-1 to count to Kuzminoff, who grounded up to Beckham as well.
Nice pitch, Johnny.
And that ball hit deep into right field. Carlos back, makes the catch, hits the wall, yes, and hangs on to it. Good play, Quentin. Mercy.
Carlos Quentin plays right field. Absolutely fearlessly. He goes back. He knows he's going to get some contact with that chain link fence. But he's able to take a two-base hit away from Kuzminoff as the wind blew that ball away from him. Great effort by Carlos.
Here's Suzuki. He hit a screaming Mimi to Brent Morel's right. And he was able to reach over, backhand it for a nice play. One 4-0 for their guys. 0-4-1 for our guys.
Suzuki played his college baseball at Cal State Fullerton. Helped him win the College World Series in 2004.
Hit hard but foul. And that's foul back. So the count hangs at a ball and 2 strikes with 2 down to Kurt Suzuki. Change up high. He gone. Doubled him up. But the home run by Hideki Matsui. Look, we trail it 1-0. The Stanley Cup begins on Comcast Sportsnet. Tune in for Game 1 of the NHL playoffs as the Hawks Facing Canucks in Vancouver. Blackhawks Canucks tonight at 8:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Down one here in the bottom of the fourth inning. It'll be KONERKO, Quentin, and Rios. Face Brett Anderson. Just flips a curveball, misses the outside corner. Grabs a strike with that one.
One of the good things going to happen tonight is Jake Peavy is going to go to the mound in another of his rehab stints. He's going to go 80 pitches for Charlotte, and then they'll evaluate after that.
Breaking ball, Kuzminoff. Hawley now 1 for 2. To Jake Meister.
Well, hopefully he comes out of that one, feels good, gaining some arm strength. A couple of days ago, he had a 32-pitch side session, so he feels like he's moving in the right direction, and we'll have to see how he comes out of this performance this evening.
Here's Quentin. Anderson just grabbing a strike with that curveball for the most part, anytime he wants it.
What percentage of the guys do you think would swing at first ball, breaking ball?
There's a base hit. I would say no more, tops no more than 5%.
And that's why what Anderson's doing today is a great way to approach pitching. Now, after getting the first pitch strike, he throws a changeup low and away out of the zone. We've told you for a while that Carlos loves the ball down, even if it's not a strike. The bat goes down to Hira.
So here's Alex grounded out to third. There's that curveball strike. In my whole career, I've only seen maybe 2 guys that were outstanding breaking ball hitters on first ball breaking ball. And number 1 was a lot better than number 2. That was Tony Oliva, the great Tony Oliva.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great hitter.
Yes, he was.
For everything.
But he was, you throw him a breaking ball on first pitch strike, he's not going to kill you with it. And the other was Rico Petrocelli, on the Red Sox shortstop. For many years held the record for most home runs, and a lot of them came on first ball breaking ball. He had 40 one year. The 0-2 pitch. 2 down.
Curveball, fastball, and another curveball. And now that Anderson has added that breaking ball to his repertoire, makes a lot more sharply. And that's why his ERA coming in was under 2.
Well, there's a big difference in his breaking pitch. As that ball hit hard in the center field, that's going to fall for the base hit by Alexei. So he is now 1 for 2 and he's hit it very hard twice. But he's just flipping that first ball, breaking ball up there. And then when he wants you to put away with it, he's got some severe breakage on it.
There's not a lot of guys that will look for the first ball breaking ball, because if he happens to get a fastball and they take it down the middle, there's not much more aggravating than that to most guys who just don't hit the breaking ball all that well anyway.
Here's Castro. Nice block by Suzuki. I remember a game we were playing the Red Sox, and I was with Cleveland. Stan Williams was pitching for us, former White Sox pitching coach. It was the top of the 9th inning. Petrocelli came up and he threw him, Stosh threw Rico a slider low and away, and he hit it about 440 over that left center field fence on first pitch slider.
Stanley could throw pretty hard.
Well, this was at one time he was probably the hardest thrower in baseball, but this is after he hurt his arm. But still, first ball slider low and away, and hook at 440. That's up high. Of course, Rico later on paid for it.
You did pay for it a lot when Stan was pitching,
Yeah.
even after he lost a big fastball.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Ramon. Nope. Ground ball right side. So we have a mile 2-out threat. Can't score. We're into the fifth, trailing 1-0. And if you are the 500th texter, you could win $5 footlong subs from Subway. Andy LaRoche takes ball one here in the top of the fifth inning. 1-4-0 for the Oakland A's. 0-6-1 for our Sox. That's a chop foul.
Makes his change up to the right-handers is pretty good today. Had some problems locating in the first inning, but since then, very few.
Another chopper foul. 1-2 the count. And there's a base hit. So the leadoff man aboard, and that'll bring up the shortstop, switch hitting Cliff Pennington.
Pennington's a pretty good bunter. Though Bob Guerin usually doesn't like to give away any outs. This one figures to be pretty close all the way.
One nothing A's if you're just tuning in. Home run last inning by Hideki Matsui.
Gerald Perry to the left of Bob Guerin, former Cubs hitting coach.
Pennington goes through it.
Here's a look at Gerald. We talked with him before the series started.
And a count 0-2.
One catches the bottom part of the strike zone, inner part of the plate.
He gone. Thank you. Six strikeouts for Danks.
Threw the fastball right by him.
Here's David DeJesus. He struck out, then had a sacrifice bunt. That was after Pennington had singled and went to second on the error by Juan Pierre, leading off the third inning. There's the strike. Well, the A's this year in their first 12 games, this being the 12th, have 3 sacrifice bunts.
That looked like an opportunity for a fourth that was missed.
Well, that's why I said thank you.
Yeah. DeJesus came over from Kansas City. We saw him there for a long time, and he always gave us some problems. Vid Mazzaro, the right-handed starter, along with minor leaguer Justin Marks, going over to Kansas City. That was on November 10th of last year.
That's popped up left side, Morel. And that's out number 2. And you can organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the 2011 season. You can purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas, and that's the domain of the Bertucci boys out there. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to reserve your group outing. You can have some fun, good food, and watch a White Sox win.
Bobby sent up some combos today. An Italian beef and Italian sausage. Very healthy for you.
Besides that, it's tasty.
It's really tasty.
Ellis, 1 for 2. Little duck snort single and a strikeout. And that's hit softly into left field. And a Bronx cheer goes up. One makes the catch. Meanwhile, we're halfway home and we trail it 1-0. All right, Chuck, thank you. Brent Morrell will lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 Bad Guys. Brent grounded out to short his first trip. Takes it outside, and he's got a 2-0 count.
A couple of innings we've had at least 2 base runners. But Anderson has been a little too tough to this point.
Don't help him out to count 3-0. Juan Pierre on deck. There's one. That is a souvenir right side, so a full count. And that's popped up. Pennington. 1 out. Top of the 8th inning, 1 out, 1 on in Minnesota. Kansas City leading the 27-5. Here's one. He's 2 for 2, and he's been picked off twice. There's that curveball, first pitch curveball strike.
He brought everybody rushing in from the corners when he faked the bunt.
Big sweeper there. Little comebacker, couldn't make the play.
Well, we told you when this game started that the only trouble spot for the man on the mound was not his pitching. It was his defense, his inability to field, and hopefully this will cost him, because this is a very easy tapper. And he just whiffs on it.
So that'll bring up Beckham.
Anderson charged with an error, and justifiably so.
Come on, Gordon. 1st and 30.
You don't think Juan's going here, do you?
Going for the hat trick.
Take a rest for a bit.
Oh, he got a good breaking ball to hit right there.
Well, unfortunately, that ball was almost down the middle of the plate. Not a whole lot on it. And Gordon just didn't get it.
He's had a couple of good pitches to hit today and fouled them off. And a reminder, you can join the White Sox for a night celebrating Cinco de Mayo, presented by Miller Lite on Tuesday, May 3rd. So for tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. That ball hit hard in the gap. Nobody's going to get that one. Gets by, so here comes one. He's being waved around by Cox. He will score. This game is tied at 1 on a double by Gordon Beckham. Yes!
RBI number 7 in Willingham, who cut across. I think at first he thought he could cut it off, but that ball just shot by him. The error by Anderson coming back to bite him. Slow rolling breaking ball, and Gordon gets a good piece of this one. Montpierre realizing that he's going to be able to score without a play. Doesn't even have to worry about Jeff Cox on that one. He had the play right in front of him.
So here's Dunn. He has walked and struck out. Takes first pitch, sinker, strike. And the count 0-2. Don't stop now, boys. Come on, Adam. Just off the plate. Oh, just underneath it. John and Sally Draper's pick to click. Gordon Beckham with his 4th double of the season, picks up his 7th RBI.
Adam got a breaking ball that was low and out over the plate, and didn't get it.
Broken bat. Ellis has plenty of time. Two down, and here comes Konerko. Come on, Paulie. Right man, right place, right spot, right now. Paulie 1 for 2. That soft single to left field back in the 1st inning. Pennington playing well over into the hole at short. A lot of room back through the middle. And there's a little looper caught, and that'll retire the side. But the double by Beckham scores Pierre, who reached on an error. We'll go to the 6th, tied at 1.
United Airlines leaderboard since the start of 2010. Sox and the A's. No vampires on their clubs. They've got the best daytime records in the major leagues.
Jackson cannot check it up. And the count 0-1. A 1-1 tie here in the 6th inning. Connor Jackson 1 for 2. Willingham on deck, and Matsui in the hole. Big rip, 2-2. That changeup blowing away.
Neither pitcher has really extended himself pitch-wise to this point, which is a good thing because there were a lot of pitchers used in that game last night.
He gone. 7 strikeouts for Danks.
You look at enough off-speed pitches, and that high heater looks a foot faster. Up and out of the strike zone, and he threw it right by him.
One-0 pitch to Willingham. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Outfield straight up, spread out about equal distance. And the count 3-0.
There's the pitches by inning. You see very good second and a walk you didn't want to make here.
Second walk issued by Danks. Make that the first walk issued by Danks. And here's Matsui. 1 for 2, that homer, with 1 out in the 4th inning. Morel over to Alexei and rack him up. The 5-6-3 double play, and that'll do it. Sportsnet, the Angels come to U.S. Cellular Field to take on our White Sox. White Sox Angels Friday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus, fans' best friend.
Bill Lumber and Jared Weaver.
And right here, it's Carlos Quentin and Brett Anderson. Carlos 2 for 2. Way out in front of that one. Upper tank. And the count 0-1. That's a foul. Top of the 7th at KONERKO Park. Texas and the Tigers are tied at 2. Top of the 9th in Minnesota. Kansas City leading the Twinkies 7-5. Tried to Tommy Hawk that one.
Yeah, that was a protect me swing. At the last instant, that might be a little too close to take, and was able to fight it off to the right.
Fouls that one away. And a reminder, you can follow our Sox with the MLB.com @BAT11 app for your phone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text that BAT to 31826 or visit WhiteSox.com for details. Text it up. Watch out. And the count hangs at 2-2. That hit him. So the leadoff man aboard.
Carlos no stranger to this. That gets him on the bounce, but nonetheless gets him anyway. So he's aboard. Hit for just the 3rd time, but it's early.
Here's Alex. Alex is due. He's 0 for 2. Right on the outside edge of the outside corner with a changeup. Now, come on, Alex. You got to cinch it up and hunker down, buddy. That ball ripped fair right down the left field line. Carlos is going to make the turn. Now he will be held at 3rd on the double by Alex Rios. He was due.
Fourth double of the season, and no chance at all for Kuzminov. finally staying inside with the breaking ball. Came back to get Anderson. This is a slow curveball. And Alex just opened up and ripped it down the line. Break the tie, Alexei. Last night's hero.
Alexei's hit the ball hard twice. He's 1 for 2. Well, we've had 3 guys on this ball club hit the ball a lot harder than their numbers indicate. We've had AJ, Alex, and Morrell.
What thing you can ask for is good at bats, and eventually you're going to start finding a hole.
That's all Ozzie looks for.
If you hit him as hard as Alex did, the hole's made for itself.
Not too much, Alexei, not too much. 1-2 the count.
Especially with the infield back, they're going to concede the run. Just make a little contact. Don't have to hit it out of the park. But you got to get that run home.
And that's out number 1. So here's Ramon. Ramon 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs.
Fastball in on his hands. And Anderson, thinking the head of the bat was going to fly at him, he decided to just duck out of the way.
Now the right side comes in. Now Ellis is going to back up halfway. Now Pennington comes in halfway. And that ball is shanked to the right side and foul. 0-1 to count to Castro. 1-8-1 for our Sox. 1-5-1 for their A's here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Pitch number 96 on the way. And the bullpen up and going quickly for the Athletics.
Lays off the high heater.
Anderson has had only 1-1-2-3 inning, that coming in the 2nd. Other than that, he's had some trouble in each and every inning.
Not too hard, not too much. 1-2 the count with Morrell on deck.
Greg Breslow once again. We saw him last night. He pitched an inning, gave up a run.
The professor. Checks it up. And it's 2-2. Oh, got a good pitch to hit and just underneath it.
This is a breaking ball that just hangs up and out over the plate. Anderson makes a mistake, and fortunately for him, he gets away with it.
Another roller and just hammered out in front. Outfield spread out. Bit of a gap out there in right center. Infield halfway.
Nice!
And a full count. Ball for a base hit right here. Ramon. And there's a fair ball. They're coming to the plate. High throw, safe.
Bad
Quentin
choice.
scores. Sox lead at 2-1.
Bad choice by Kuzminoff because he had no angle. He had to try to drop it over the head of Quentin. And in throwing the ball up high, Carlos able to slide in under the throw, and it opens it up for a big inning.
And a good at bat by Castro after falling down in the count 1-2.
Kuzminoff has to throw it over Carlos's head. Did not take the out given him. Good hustle by Quentin. And the White Sox have now led in each and every one of the 12 games played this year, which is somewhat amazing.
And here's Morel. He is grounded to short and popped to short. There's a bunt. That's a good one. And it's a 3-1 Sox lead on the squeeze by Brent Morel.
Well executed, good timing on the part of Rios. With the left-hander on the mound, he can't tell when the runner breaks. But you see it right there. Suzuki telling Anderson he only have one play. That's the first base. RBI number 7 for Morel. That's making the most of a situation and getting a 2-run lead.
Don't stop now, boys. Pick him up 1. He's 2 for 3. And there's a base hit. They're going to have to hold him at third, though, as right to Willingham. And it's a good thing they did. So that'll bring up Beckham.
Juan's been on base each and every time. That's his 3rd hit. But it's hit too hard, and that's going to be it for Anderson, who really struggled with 104 pitches. He gave up 9 hits. He'll leave trailing. And so Breslow comes in the game. Anderson will depart and will step out. There's a look at Craig Breslow as he comes into the game. We saw him last night. Pitched an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits. He walked 1. He inherits runners at the corners. It's already a 3-1 game. He's trying to limit the damage.
Beckham is 1 for 3, an RBI double to tie it up back in the 5th. Just underneath it. Come on, Gordon. Outfield straight up, spread out. And the count evens at 1. All started with a hit by pitch to Quentin, and then a huge double by Alex Rios. Another good rip. And just underneath that one. The 1-2 pitch. And that's popped up. Pennington makes the call, has the ball, but the Sox put a pair on the board. We'll go to the 7th, leading 3-1. But the Angels coming to town following the off day tomorrow. And then it's on the road. 4 against Tampa Bay and 3 against those pesky Tigers in Detroit. It's the Felco upcoming schedule. And also on that trip, after that Detroit series, we go to New York for 4. So 11 games in 11 days on that trip. 4 in Tampa Bay, 3 in Detroit, and 4 in the Big Apple. But right here, Sox lead at 3-1. First pitch strike to Kuzminoff. In that weekend series against the Halos, we're going to run Humber, Floyd, and Burley out there. Alexei's got him. 1 out. Kuzminoff now 0 for 3. They're going to run Weaver, on Friday, to be announced on Saturday, and Heron on Sunday.
Heron fresh off a one-hit shutout. Cooling off the Pride.
That Friday game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Saturday's game will be over WFLD, Fox, and then Sunday's game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. Outfield straight up, spread out. Suzuki takes ball 2.
Red Sox decided they had seen enough at Tampa Bay, decided to call that game off today a little early. As the Red Sox off to a 2-9 start.
No walks. Johnny, come back and get him. This will be pitch number 83. You don't want to do that.
The second walk in as many innings, but after walking Willingham with 1 out last inning, he induced Matsui to ground into a double play.
Andy LaRoche. He's 1 for 2. And he takes ball 1. Danks 0-1 against Oakland last year, but he is 4-1 in his career against the Athletics. And LaRoche cutting and hacking, 1-1 to count.
And he was looking fastball all the way, thinking he was going to get it, and when John pulled the string on the changeup, he had LaRoche well out in front of it.
And there's the strike. So now Johnny on top, 1-2. Minnesota hitting in the bottom of the 9th with 2 out. 1 on, trailing Kansas City 10-5. Alexei. Gordon. And rack him up. 7th inning stretch from beautiful US Cellular Field. Sox lead at 3-1. It's a 3-1 Sox lead. 391 for our guys, 1-5-1 for their guys here in the bottom of the 7th inning. As Craig Breslow will face Dunn, KONERKO, and Quentin. Adam 0 for 2 with a walk. Come on, Canyon. The Grand Canyon. Takes first pitch strike. And the count 0-2. That breaking ball, no. And a reminder, season ticket plans offer the best seat locations at the lowest prices with the most benefits. Now, prorated full season, weekday and weekend plans are available right now and start at less than $500 per seat. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Ball hit. Takes a nice little bowling book bounce right there to LaRoche. And that's out number 1. So here's Paulie. It is a foul now from Target Field. Kansas City defeated Minnesota 10-5.
For the moment, we have the same record as the Royals, 7-4. And the Twins, 4-7. That's not a bad thing.
Paulie 1 for 3. It's all good. There's a strike on the outside edge of the outside corner.
Davies beat Liriano. Minnesota tried to come back, 6-1 down. They got it to 6-5, but Kansas City kept adding on.
Pulled the string on him, had him way off balance out in front.
Good change up by Breslow. Originally drafted by the Brewers. He was released by them. Played in New Jersey in an independent league. Before signing with the Padres. Elected free agency. Was claimed off waivers 3 different times. He's had a spotted career. He's managed to pile up a few years in the big leagues in the meantime. San Diego, Boston, Cleveland, Minnesota, and now Oakland.
Well, Kyle Davies struggled a little bit in that game. He was leading 6-1. I think he left it was 6-5. But one thing, I like Kyle Davies. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he had a big year.
He's got pretty good offense behind him. These Kansas City boys can hit.
As he made a pitch on him, he made us a couple of good pitches. That was a B pitch right there. 2 down.
He'd been working him outside. At that time, got it a little closer.
So here's Carlos. He is 2 for 2. He led off last inning. He was hit by a pitch. And then Rios with that huge double and rocket down into the left field corner. That's up high. Well, he's got that release point down.
All things considered, he's going to stay away from most of the right-handers. If he comes inside at all, it's going to be inside off the plate. He knows he doesn't have a big fastball. So he's going to change speeds. Pretty much stay away.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Stretch! It won't. Right in front of Billy Pierce. Hauls it in, and that'll retire the side. We will go to the 8th. It is still 3-1. Good guys. You better believe it.
Going to get inside Luongo's head early. Might have.
Watch the Hawks kick some booty.
Might have a good series.
So here we go. It's the top of the 8th. 3-1 Sox. Pennington is 1 for 2. Takes outside. Top of the 9th at Comerica Park. Rangers and Tigers are tied at 2.
Last night it was Jackson, Oman, Pena, Santos, and Sale, and that's why nobody's up at the pen right now.
Come on, no walks, especially the leadoff hitter. That won't do you any good, Johnny Danks. There's one.
If John doesn't get him, I would think that Jesse Crane would be up and throwing in a hurry.
That's top foul. And White Sox fans, come out to U.S. Cellular Field Sunday at 1:10 p.m. for Kids Day. First 10,000 kids 13 and under will receive a Gordon Beckham wall clean, courtesy of Radio Disney.
John hitting into the mid-90s in pitches, and this is a huge out.
That's fouled out of play.
Brad Ziegler throwing. We saw him last night also.
Pennington cutting and slashing. David DeJesus on deck.
And there is Jesse Crane.
And another foul. Toronto and Seattle, bottom of the second inning out at Great Pacific Northwest, no score. And once again the payoff. And that's popped up Ramon. Watch out. Can't get there. Other action will show San Diego hosting Cincinnati. Orioles taking on the Yankees in the Bronx. Cleveland at the Angels at the Big A. Milwaukee at Pittsburgh. Washington at home against the Phillies. Colorado against the Mets at City Park. Marlins taking the Braves in Atlanta. Tampa Bay at Boston was postponed. And another foul ball.
Pennington with a great at bat. Not great as far as John Danks is concerned, as he's using up a whole lot of pitches. When you wonder how many pitches he's got left.
And once again, the payoff. Watch out. Other action will show the Cubs taking on the Astros at the Juice Box. St. Louis at Arizona. Dodgers in San Francisco. And of course, we mentioned Kansas City beat Minnesota 10-5. So the dreaded leadoff walk.
12 pitch at bat by Pennington. Best at bat of the day. If you're trying to get on late in the game, in a close game. That's the third walk in the last 3 innings for John Danks. But after the first 2 walks, he got double play ground balls.
And here comes Coop.
Don Cooper with the long, slow walk to the mound. That Chris Sale now has joined Jesse Crain. See how durable his arm is. He threw a couple of innings last night and wound up winning his 2nd game of the year.
Rangers have a man at second. 1 out. Ian Kinsler at the plate in the top of the 9th. And that's down low. That was pitch number 100.
Coop wants to know if 1, Crain is ready. That's probably yes. And 2, is Sale ready to go in case we need him?
There's a good changeup, good motion. 1-1 to count.
Next 3 hitters are all right-handed. Jeff Sale up just to protect against Guerin's move to the bench.
Just off the corner. And that's chopped foul, so the count evens up at 2.
I think you can get by DeJesus, you got to go to Jesse Crain to face the right-hand part of his batting order.
Another full count.
Mark Ellis in the on-deck circle. He's had a hit today.
Big pitch. And that's fouled out of play. Down ball. Alexei. Rack him up. 2 down. Yes.
After 3 walks, 3 double play ground balls. So if you're going to put him on via the base on balls, that ground ball on the next one turns into 2. And that could turn out to be a game saver for John Danks and the Sox. Good turn. Alexei with a good solid throw. And quickly there are 2 out.
Double plays in the 6th, 7th, and here in the 8th inning. There's a strike to Ellis. He had a little duck snort single in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, and went out to left in the 5th. And that's popped up in the right center field. Alex, he's there, makes the catch. That'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 2.
Pierre, and a very adventuresome day highlighted by 3 hits. Starts it off with a bunt. And a base hit back through the middle. A ball that Anderson couldn't handle. And on Beckham's double, Juan ties the game. Our Xfinity high-speed action replays. And Brad Ziegler comes into the game. The submarining right-hander who's very difficult for right-handers to deal with.
And here's Alexei. Check that, Alex. Takes ball on Alex. Had probably the biggest hit in this game. Coming back in the 6th inning. The 1-1 tie after Quentin was hit by a pitch leading off. He then ripped a double down into the left field corner, and that set up that 2-run 6th. And that's how it stands, 3-1 White Sox. There's a little frisbee he flipped up there. That one hangs inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Rios. Quick breaker there, and a full count. Alexei on deck. And there is the dreaded leadoff walk.
Good time to pick up some insurance because Ziegler should be fairly easy to run on. Although Suzuki has a very quick and accurate arm.
Alexei is 1 for 3. And a reminder, you can visit WhiteSox.com and check out White Sox Charities online auctions Unique White Sox memorabilia and experiences will be posted every 2 weeks. So visit whitesox.com to place your bid. Pitch out. So
well, it went almost caught the outside corner. That was supposed to be a pitch out.
I think it was over the plate.
Suzuki thought it was a pitch out. The only guy that didn't was Ziegler.
What's this? It's tailing back.
It's misses high and away the strike zone, but no chance for Suzuki to even think about throwing a second.
That'll get the job done. I love the bunt.
When used right, it wins games.
I love the bunt.
Sox have had a chance a couple of times to bunt, and they've been successful a couple of times. This is a perfect bunt. Even Ziegler with only one play, and he made it. But Alex now 90 feet away.
And the infield in for Ramon Castro, who is 0 for 3, but he drove in a run. Takes first pitch strike. See what Ozzie wants to do. And Suzuki checking over in his dugout to see what Guerin wants to do.
He's got a feeling that Ramon is not known for his great running prowess. With the infield in, he's got a big advantage.
Outfield straight up, spread out. And now the count, a ball and 2 strikes with Brent Morrell on deck.
Bullpen up and going. It was the man who was charged with the loss last night, Kramer, throwing in the pen.
Two and 2. Come on, Ramon. Bristle up right here, buddy.
Let's look for that frisbee outside and poke it to right.
Just got it off the end of the bat. And Tigers have just beaten Texas 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Home run by Brandon Inge. There was the best pitch he's had in this whole sequence to hit.
Tried to keep it away, and that ball drifted right over the middle of the plate. Suzuki wants it low and away. That one is on the inner portion, and unfortunately Ramon didn't get it.
Big run out there at third. One hopper. Cruz has got him. 2 down. So it's left up to Brent, who's 0 for 2 with a beautiful squeeze bunt back in the 6th inning. Pick him up right here, 22.
He's had a terrific day in the field. He's made a couple of sparkling plays down the line and showed off his very strong and accurate arm. Then he was asked to bunt in the 6th. He laid it down on the suicide and drove home his 7th run of the year.
That's inside, and he's got the catbird seat with Juan Pierre on deck.
So you can have a very productive day without getting a base hit to this point.
Chops that one foul. Two out. And the 2-1 pitch. Right there. Just tuning in, Kansas City beat Minnesota 10-5 at Target Field. Davies over Liriano. Jeffress picked up his first save. Pretty good pitch by Ziegler. Good job by Brent just to fight it off. Kuzmanov bobbles it, now controls, bounce up, bad throw. Alex scores, and it's a 4-1 Sox lead.
It's going to be another error on Kuzmanov. He catches it cleanly. It's going to be a relatively easy play. You might make a case for 2 errors on this one, only because the bobble cost him a base, and then the throw, one hops into the dugout.
So here's one. Don't stop now, boys. Pick him up, one. There's a strike. 1-1 to count to Pierre. One hitting at 302 as he stands up that dish. That Beckham on deck. And the count 2-1 to Pierre. There's a strike. 2-2. 4-9-1 for us. 1-5-2 for them. And a full count. Gap out there in right center. And the payoff pitch. Way outside.
Couple of walks by Ziegler, and the leadoff walk came back to bite it.
So here's Gordon with a chance to knock in another run. He tied up this ball game at 1 with that big double in the 5th inning.
Here's Ron Romanek coming out, the pitching coach. The bullpen is up and going, but he's not going to make a change quite yet.
So here we go. Morel at second. Pierre at first. And here's Gordon. Pulls off that one. And the count 0-1. They got a left-hander warming up in case Beckham can reach for Adam Dunn. That's going foul. Dadgummit. A little too quick. A little too quick. And a reminder, an off day tomorrow. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it'll be the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Phil Umber for us on Friday against Jared Weaver. Gavin Floyd against to be announced on Saturday, and Mark Burley against Dan Herron on Sunday. 2-2. The Friday and Sunday games will be right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. Saturday will be over Fox. And a good eye, good take, full count, and good speed on the base paths.
Adam Dunn waiting to see if Gordon Beckham can keep it alive. And the runners will be off.
Swings at ball 4, and that'll retire the side. We do pick up one. We'll go to the 9th, leading by 3. White Sox postgame live. Get an analysis from Chuck and Bill. Plus, go live to Ozzy's postgame remarks. You don't want to miss that. So don't miss Galaxy White Sox postgame live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Chris Sale comes into the game. He won the ball game last night. He's 2-0, ERA .368, on for the 7th time, looking for his 2nd save. He's got to go right through the heart of this Oakland order. There you look at the numbers this year.
And here's Connor Jackson. There's a fastball up high.
Chris pitched a couple of innings last night. Gave up a hit, a walk, struck out 2. More important, no runs.
Come on, Chris. No walks.
And Matt Thornton now is throwing in the pen.
There's one. And the count evens at 2.
Good movement on that fastball. Kept it away.
The 2-2 pitch. Change up.
Like to see him using that changeup.
I loved it yesterday. That's the most we've seen him in one outing since we've had him.
Well, he went from a starter to a reliever, but because of that, you can't give up one of your better pitches.
And that's going to be a base hit. So the leadoff double.
Connor Jackson now 2 for 4. Throws a fastball up and out of the strike zone. Well, Jackson doubles to lead off the 9th inning.
And here is Willingham. 0 for 2 with a walk. A couple strikeouts. Checks it up and fouls it off. Four-1 Sox on top here in the top of the 9th inning.
Willingham was the last man that Chris Sale faced last night, and he struck him out looking.
There's a good strike. And the count 0-2. Yeah, he got him on a changeup.
Yep, and a good one.
And there's a base hit. So Jackson's going to score, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
That'd be a number 7 for Willingham. His first hit of the day. He takes that slider, takes it right back up the middle.
So the leadoff double, the single. And here's Matsui, who's 1 for 3, a homer. Back in the 4th inning, his 2nd of the season. And there's a base hit. We just have, seems like we get to the 9th inning.
Some trouble nailing it down, and that's going to be it for Sale. And I think it's going to be Jesse Crain.
So 3 consecutive hits as Chris Sale will depart. Crain comes on, and we'll be back.
The Toyota call to the pen is going to be Jesse Crain. He inherits the game on the bases. And there's a look at the numbers on Jesse this year, on for the 5th time. left-handers have scuffled 1 for 11, and he's going to face Derek Barton, who's coming on to pinch hit for Kuzmanov.
And Coco Crisp running for Matsui at first. So if you're just tuning in, it's a 4-2 Sox lead, but they have 1 in, nobody out, and 2 on. Tying runs aboard here in the top of the 9th inning. Martin, 4 for 5 last night. And all 4 base hits were solid. No Ducks notes. Outside. And the count 2-0. There's one.
The ground ball would look awfully nice here with Crisp representing the tying run. He's the fastest of all these athletics. You can cut him down at second and be in pretty good shape.
And that is out of play to even the count at 2.
Ryan Fuentes was seen up in the bullpen, and with Andrew Bailey on the disabled list, nursing a sore forearm and elbow, Fuentes has become their closer.
And Suzuki on deck. He's the one who hit the home run off Jesse Crain in the top of the 10th inning in the opener to win it 2-1. Take him right here, Jesse. Nope. Full count. Outfield, they're straight up, spread out, about equidistant. Pierre in left, Rios in center, Quentin in right. Sox looking to turn their 4th double play of this ball game. And a big pitch, the payoff. Not even close. Sacks packed with A's, nobody out. And here comes Suzuki. He's 0 for 2 with a walk in this game. As I just mentioned, with 2 out, top of the 10th on Monday, hit a line shot out of here off Jesse, and they won it 2-1.
Now Castro goes out. Morel goes out to talk with Crane. There's the base runners. Great speed at second, representing the tying run. Adequate speed on the corners.
The 1-0 pitch. Suzuki in the catbird seat. 2-0, Sox packed, nobody out. Boy, I'll tell you what, this is where hitters just salivate. Here it comes. That one at 96, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Chase ball 3.
This one is up and out of the strike zone like the first 2. Fortunately, Suzuki went after it.
Who has a sense of control? Is it Crane or is it Suzuki?
Well, now it's Suzuki. There's some more high heat by him, only this one was in the zone.
He looked like he was trying to hit that on the westbound lane with Dan Ryan. Here it comes. Let's see what you got. Just underneath it. We have had in this ball game an inordinate amount of foul balls and 3-2 counts.
Well, Pennington had a 12-pitch at bat to lead off the 8th inning.
And once again. It's all good. Yes, he gone. Big out.
And here comes Ozzie. He got Suzuki swinging through yet another high fastball. He just overpowered him. And so far, no movement at all from Ozzie. With Andy LaRoche. And no pinch hitter announced. Righty against righty. He's sticking with Crane.
Andy LaRoche now being called back. And Ryan Sweeney, former Sox outfielder. So here is Sweeney, 26-year-old outfielder. And now Guerin's saying,
I don't think you can do this.
No, Guerin's saying, hey, he's got a pitch to my man.
Well, Ozzie's going out and now he's motioning to the bullpen, but this is kind of unusual.
Well, I think Guerin's got a beef. Now
Dale Scott's going to explain to Guerin that the second time, in other words, if you bring in a pitcher, he's got to face the hitter. But by going out there and talking to him, you can then make a change the second time you go out.
Dale Scott, crew chief. All right. We'll stay with this and show you if anything happens when we get back. Ryan Sweeney to face Matt Thornton. They allowed it to stand as there's ball one.
It's a Toyota call to the pen, and it's Matt Thornton on for the 5th time. And he's got to shut him down right here.
Threw that one by him. 1-1 to count for Ryan Sweeney. Sox packed one out. Sox lead at 4-2, top of the 9th inning. And the strike. Sweeney didn't like it, and the count 1-2.
Sweeney looks back at Dan Iasonia. And we'll take another look at it. That one at the top of the strike zone. And all of the plate.
Stay right up there.
He gone. 2 down. It's all good.
That just reaches back, gets a little extra on that last one, and throws it right by him.
So here is Pennington. 1 for 2, a single, a strikeout, and a walk. And that's going to be a base hit. And this ball game is tied at 4.
First ball, fastball. Second and third runs of the year driven in by Pennington on his second hit of the day. Johnny Dings can't win. Brett Anderson can't lose. The game is in the hands of the bullpen. As Matt Thornton charged with another blown save.
There's a strike to DeJesus for our guys. It'll be Dunn, KONERKO, and Quentin in the bottom of the 9th inning. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Man. That's high. Jackson led it off with a double. The single by Willingham. Matsuya single. Payne comes in. That was off Chris Sale. The walk. Then a strikeout. Then a strikeout by Thornton of Sweeney. Beckham up with it. The throw. And that'll retire the side. But the A's come up with 3 runs in the top of the 9th. We just cannot do anything in the 9th inning. And we'll go to the bottom tied at 4.
stays in the game in right field. Connor Jackson comes in from right field to play third base. And Derek Barton stays in the game to play first. And now Ziegler, who took his warm-up tosses, is most likely going to be taken down with Adam Dunn coming up. And Guerin motions to the pen.
So Ziegler, who came in to work the 8th inning, walked the leadoff hitter. He eventually came around to score. Thank goodness for that. But we are tied at 4. Pitching change, and we'll be back.
Our Toyota call to the pen is Grant Balfour. On for the 5th time. He's 0-1, high ERA. Now, last time out, he had a blister on the throwing hand and had some problems with it. We'll have to see how healed up it is. First man he's going to face is Adam Dunn as he has to go through the heart of the order.
Balfour, 33 years old, out of Australia, now resides in Clearwater, Florida. 7-year veteran. So here we go, a 4-4 tie, bottom of the 9th inning, and the iron coming up. Dunn 0 for 3 with a walk. Outfielder deep. Real deep.
Can't get any deeper. They're almost on the warning track all the way around.
Nice.
And the count 2-0 is done. Oh, and that's why they call it baseball.
And you'd have to assume that Brent Lillibridge is getting his legs loosened up if Adam Dunn can get aboard.
The toughest outs in the game. Numbers 25, 6, and 7. There's a strike. Big hack. And the count 2-2. And a full count. Is it just me, or does it seem like to you that the 25th, 6th, and 7th outs are tougher now than they've ever been?
Well, they're awfully tough. And as an illustration of that, there's probably only 10 lockdown closers in the entire major leagues, which is basically the world.
That's out number 1.
My lockdown closers, I mean, 80 to 85% effectiveness at any one given time. There's probably 10. And if it was an easier job, there'd be a lot more than that. It just probably getting a whole lot tougher because of the specialists. Every team has a specialist they bring in coming off the bench late just to wait for your closer when he comes in.
Boy, it seems to me that they're tougher now than they have ever been. Here's Pauly. That ball is foul, says Buckner.
If Jackson's right on the line, it's hard to believe that a ball could get between him and the bag. The ball is on the other side of the line, playing a no double set.
You're just tuning in. Johnny Danks pitched well. 8 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, 3 walks, all those coming in the last 3 innings. 7 strikeouts. Brett Anderson, 5 2/3, 3 runs, 2 earned, 9 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And we had a 4-1 lead going to the top of the 9th inning. What new? Two balls and a strike with Quentin on deck. That is popped up. Suzuki, and that is out number 2. So it's up to Carlos. Carlos 2 for 3 in this game, but he had a big at bat leading off the 6th. He was hit by a pitch, and Rios with a big double. Both those guys scored, and that made it a 3-1 Sox lead. They added another one in the 8th before Oakland tied it up with 3 in the 9th. That's down low. And he's 2-0. Pass out of play, right side. Carlos has faced Balfour 5 times, has 1 hit. He also has walked once and has struck out 3 times. Right on the corner. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the 3rd extra inning game of the series, as we are tied at 4. Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Extra innings here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field for the third straight game. And for the A's, it'll be Ellis, Jackson, and Willingham. As that pitch down low from Matt Thornton. That pitch up high. And that one right there. So 2-1 to count. Alexei. And that's out number 1. So here's Jackson. This will be the first time he has faced Thornton.
Just double that led things off last inning. Started the parade that led to 3 in the tie.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. And the count 2-0. Three and nothing.
Nice, man.
Yay.
Gotta earn it, man. Make him earn it.
Now Jackson's looking fastball all the way. Doesn't matter.
So here's Willingham. He's 1 for 3. Had an RBI single last inning to knock in Jackson, who led it on for that double. And there's ball 1. Coco Crisp on deck.
Come on, man. Go after him, Matt. Right after him, Matt.
Willingham, 32-year-old veteran. High pop up right side. Real high, and that wind taking it away from everybody to make it not playable.
No chance at all for Beckham, and too long a run for Carlos Quentin as he came across into foul territory. But no real chance at that.
Right after him, man. Go right after him, man.
So 1 out, 1-1 the count. Close pitch, didn't get that one.
Looked like it had a good piece of the plate.
He is not going to call an inside strike.
Take another look at it on pitch tracks.
I know one thing, he just filled up the mitt.
Had half the plate. Outside corner, inside corner.
So to count 3-1. Back-to-back walks.
One thing we do have going for us is Coco Crisp does not have a right-handed hit this year.
He has faced Thornton 5 times, has 1 hit. It was a double. And it drove in 3 runs. Thornton in trouble here in the top of the 10th with back-to-back walks. Fouls that fastball back. You gotta remember one thing. Pena gets up. Big league hitters don't mind 95, 96 mile an hour fastballs. They know it's coming. And a count 2-1.
Another problem when you're all over the place, and Matt has been, you're not going to get the close pitch. If you're consistently throwing strikes, you will get the close pitch.
Outfield straight up. And there's a base hit. So the first walk is going to come around and score. And Willingham in the 3rd. A's lead at 5-4.
Fall behind, that fastball right down the middle, taken right back up the middle. And for the first time this year, Coco Crisp has a right-handed base hit. Alex Rios says everything he can to try to get it there in time. Just can't. And Jackson scores the go-ahead run.
We must lead the big leagues in giving up 9th inning runs.
We're right up near the top if we're not leading.
Well, I'd like to know who's even close. Here's Barton. 0-1 to count. And the count 0-2.
And it will most likely be Brian Fuentes for these Athletics in the bottom of the 10th.
I think we've given up on this homestand. We've given up 10 9th inning runs. One and 2. One out, runners at the corners. There goes Crisp. So he will pick up his 5th stolen base
in 5 attempts.
Now the infield comes in. And the 2-2 pitch.
That one got a piece of Castro on its way by. Tries to wipe him out. Right off the right foot. It doesn't feel good.
Once again, the 2-2. And there's a base hit. It's going to score 2 more. So the back-to-back walks with 1 out. And here comes Ozzie. It's a 7-4 Oakland lead. They have scored 6 runs in the last inning in the 3rd. All right, so Thornton departs, and we'll be back.
Our Toyota call to the pen is Tony Pena, who picked up an inning last night, gave up a couple of runs on 4 hits. He inherits Barton at first base, only 1 out here in a nightmarish 10th, and has seen Oakland take a 7-4 lead.
And if you're just getting home tuning in, Oakland trailed at 4-1 going to the 9th. 3 in the 9th and 3 so far here in the 10th. Suzuki 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Going to the count. This inning started off ground ball by Ellis to short. And Thornton walked Jackson. He walked Willingham. Base hit by Crisp. Scored a run and a 2-run single by Barton. We understand we have given up 12 runs in the 9th inning, which leads the major leagues. Second is Arizona with 9. And this is our 12th game. That ball's hit hard but foul.
Suzuki versus Pena. Curtis had much the best of it.
Count hangs at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the 10th. 5th extra inning game for our Sox. In the first 4, we have split them.
Pierre with a pretty good effort, only that ball was 2 rows deep, and he was able to get 1 row deep. Comes over, it looks like the wind's trying to bring it back.
Long look in, and now once again a 2-2 pitch. He gone. 2 down. So here's Sweeney. Takes first pitch strike. Lexi over to first. But the bases on balls jump up and bite us right in the behind. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th, trailing by 3.
He is the de facto closer until Andrew Bailey gets back. Fuentes, who 1 year for the Angels, saved 48 games. Having a very good year. This is 6th game. ERA 3.18, looking for his 5th save. He's yet to give up a home run. Only walked 1. But it's up to Rios to lead it off.
Let's get some runs, boys. Let's give him a finish right here. Rios, 1 for 3 with a huge double back in the 6th inning. He also has walked, picked up a stolen base, and scored a couple of times. Let's don't roll over. Let's go get it. Alex has faced Fuentes 6 times, has 1 hit. And it was a double. First pitch strike.
He's not overpowering, but because of that very unusual motion, he hides the ball a long time, and it appears to throw harder than he really does.
One and one to count to Rios. And that's out of play. Pitchers of record are Thornton and Balfour. And that is caught by Pennington. So 1 out, big out, and that'll bring up Alexei.
For a minute like this one, get over the head of Pennington, but he's able to take a couple of steps. Doesn't have to pick up much air on that, and makes the catch.
Alexei 0 for 1 lifetime off Fuentes. Takes that pitch down low. 7 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the A's. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for our Sox. You're just tuning in. A's with 3 runs in the 9th and 3 here in the top of the 10th. Count 2-0. Castro on deck. Off day tomorrow, thank goodness. And then Friday, it'll be the Angels coming to town. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Umber for us on Friday. Floyd on Saturday. Burley on Sunday. Burley was just awesome. In the opener of this set, going 8 innings, giving up no runs on just 2 hits.
Johnny Danks was pretty good today. He went 8 innings, gave up 1 run on 5 hits. Both will walk away with no Ds. Two and 2.
Jared Weaver will hit the bump for the Halos on Friday, to be announced on Saturday, and Dan Herron on Sunday. And then we take off for an 11-game road trip. High pop-up. Suzuki, and that's out number 2. So we're down to our last out in Ramon Castro, who is 0 for 4 today. Johnny Danks, we mentioned 8 innings, just 1 run. So between 2 of the 3 of our starters, Burley and Danks, they went 16 innings, giving up 1 run. Just 7 hits. And it appears we're going to lose both those ball games.
Couldn't ask for better pitching.
No.
Out of the starters.
No. I was talking with one of the great scouts in the game, Gordon Lakey, today, and prior to the game. Gordon and I have had a relationship for what, about 30, 35 years. Said you guys have a chance to have one heck of a starting staff and one heck of a pitching staff once you get the bullpen ironed out. Count hangs at 0-2. Funny thing about it, bad as we have been in the 9th inning, which is worst in the major leagues this year, when this game's over, we'll still be 7-5. This is a good ball club, make no mistake about it. That bullpen will get ironed out. And we will stop giving away games in the 9th inning. Too much talent down in that bullpen to have what's going on continue.
This could have been an undefeated homestand to this point.
Sure it could.
With a little more penmanship late.
And that's a souvenir right side. Yep, except for the ninth inning, we would have swept Tampa Bay in that 4-game set. Except for the ninth inning, we would have swept the East in this 3-game set.
Right. Well, Ramon put that one right into the Oakland dugout.
Shades of Luke Applin.
Joel Skinner down there. Remember him, longtime Indians coach.
And former Sox catcher. Son of Bob, former left-handed hitter for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and a good hitter. 2 out, 1 and 2. Yeah, you get those left-handers like Fuentes with that funky motion. You get those left-handers like Sid Fernandez with that funky motion. They can stay around a long time.
Well, Jesse Orozco.
Yeah, he was more conventional than those other two guys.
So he stayed around for,
well,
seeming 25 years.
Well, you know, Jesse's got to be right there. I think for my time zone, my career, 52 years in this game, I think the best overall left-handed reliever I've ever seen, for talent and time, was Dan Plesac.
Pretty good.
Real good. Real good. And this ball game is over. So once again, the ninth inning jumps up and bites us right in the behind as they score 3 in the ninth, 3 in the 10th. They win it 7-4. And I tell you, Stone Pony, when you have pitching like Burley and Danks did in this series, and you lose both those games, it'll turn around.
Well, you got to come back after the off day and forget about what happened, because nothing takes the heart out of a team worse than giving away games late, and unfortunately we gave away 3 of them.
Yeah. All right, let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is our 25-year-old southpaw, Johnny Danks. 8 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. That's our GMC player of the game. So for my partner, Stone Pony Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer John Waldron, our associate producer Keon Dolashahi, our technical manager Mark Harper, also the executive producer Jim Cornyn Jr., and for the mayor, Mean Joe Groot, the man who runs this booth. And up here in the booth with us, Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, and Jeff Hilbert. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody.